there is news coming in that KKR has bought a 9.9% stake in Max Financial Services. We have actually something related. We are going to see a lot of banks sell off assets, perhaps to the likes of KKR or to that stressed asset fund which the government is hoping to put in. But as banks do this huge kind of sell-off, there is a big fear that they will be questioned by the CVC for writing down loans. Now, here's something CNBC TV 18's Ritu Singh has picked up. She learns from sources that the Department of Financial Services and the Government Finance Ministry, the Reserve Bank and the CVC, the vigilance guys, are working with banks to find a solution for the stressed assets recovery. It's interesting that the CVC is also involved. Ritu Singh, she joins us on the phone line. What exactly did you pick up?
Well, Lata, as you said, bank NPA cleanup has been at the center stage right now. And CVC's main involvement, as you said, is to ensure that there is transparency in the process. So asset sale is something that needs to pick up in a big way for the NPA recovery to happen in some sort of way. And all parties involved, which is the Department of Financial Services, Reserve Bank of India, Central Vigilance Commission and banks, they all are working closely together to find a solution for all these stressed companies' recovery. So what we understand, we spoke to banks and a lot of industry players, including the CVC officials. What we understand is that banks have come forward and proposed a closed bidding for stressed companies so that they can achieve a fair price. What they mean is under SARFACI, banks have to put up notices in newspapers. They have to have meetings with the promoters. And often in that process, there are some hindrances that they face. Now what they've asked for is a closed bid process where minimum details will be leaked out into the public such that a fair price discovery can also happen, and to ensure that there is no questions raised on rigging under such closed processes, the CVC has been roped in to ensure that such a process is developed. Of course, banks have asked CVC for assurances that in this process, it ensures that there is no questions raised, as I said, on the closed bid. And as far as the bidding process itself is concerned, it will be done through a joint lenders forum, and the consortium leader will have to take responsibility for the sale of assets. And on a separate note, when we talk about stressed assets, steel companies is something that is facing the maximum stress right now, of course, due to various external conditions as well. But we do understand that the Indian Steel Association, they had approached banks through the IBA for a relief package under which they had asked for special dispensation for the steel industry, which essentially means some sort of restructuring where banks will also not have to take a hit. And therefore, this is what they had presented to get some sort of a relief from their huge interest repayment. But we also understand that banks did not find favor with this argument. They argued back that the RBI at this point is unwilling to provide dispensation for any sector, and therefore any special grants could not be provided to such steel companies. And as one of the options to recover their money, they are still looking at auctions of steel companies under stressed assets, even outside of SDR, to recover their money.
That's good. That's well said. Thank you very much, Ritu Singh. That's a very important point that you have brought to light, that banks are going to aggressively look at selling off assets. No special dispensation for any sector, certainly not for steel. I think they've got special dispensation for the longest time, though one admits it's a stressed sector. But important point is that they're going to aggressively look at sales and the proactive, just keeping their flanks covered by asking the CVC also to understand the position from which they are coming, and therefore not raise post facto questions on why did you sell a 40,000 crore loan for 20,000 crore or thereabouts. Getting the CVC's nod a priori for any kind of sales they will do. I think this certainly shows a lot of proactivity in terms of bank asset sales. Thank you very much, Ritu Singh, for that very important dimension.
Okay, yes.